Well, hello there, you beautiful and lovely people. I'm back. Surprise. Uh, I got a Magicka Necromancer for you today. It's a good one. I like it. You know, as you might have noticed from my recent videos, I'm not the biggest fan of the Necro. I think the class is lacking a lot of stuff. But, I think I found a build that I'm pretty happy with and that offers a unique playstyle. And I want to show it to you. So let's jump right in. As you see, we are rocking 35k Magicka, which is a decent amount. Not crazy high, but then again, Necro doesn't really benefit well from stacking that too much. So yeah, almost 25k health, also a decent amount. We're in light armor, so that's actually not too bad. And 14.5k stamina. Also a decent stamina pool, quite important these days. You want to roll, you want to break, you want to bash, all these things, it's important. And get the occasional block in. When it comes to the regens, let me buff up here. Look at those regens. 2100 Magicka and 1300 stamina recovery. Those are some decent recoveries, I gotta say that. Especially the stamina recovery. You saw it on the last build, the Magicka Warden that we did. Really benefited from the extra stamina recovery. So this is really nice. It really helps having the extra recovery when you're getting pressured. Being able to roll a lot, block a lot, break free, bash people, super important. So I think the higher stem regen, definitely worth it. When it comes to spell damage, I can't buff up right now because we don't have a class spell damage buff. We have to use the entropy to get that. But fully buffed, we're sitting at 3.2k, which is a decent amount. This is not like a spell damage or a max Magicka focus build. But you'll see in a second what this build is actually good at. Because if we look at the spell critical, you see we almost have 70% spell crit. And as you might have seen from the title, this is a 100% crit build. How can that be, you might ask? Well, let me explain that real quick. First of all, I gotta say, it's clickbait. It's only 99%. Get you baited. But cut me some slack here, okay? 99 is pretty close to 100. If you paid attention in school, you might have known 99 is very close to 100%. So yeah, this gets up to 99% due to our necro passives, and I will explain why that is in a second and how we utilize that. When it comes to the other skills here, to our other stats, if we buff up here on the back bar, 18k spell resist and 16.5k physical. Not too terribly high, but this is still a pretty bulky build. Don't be fooled by the resistances. We have some other things that make us quite tanky. And yeah, I'll show you in a second. Crit resist, 2.5k, nothing crazy. Penetration, 10k, almost 10k. It's enough. It's enough, trust me. Let's move on to the other important things. We're using the Shadow Mundus. Why are we using the Shadow Mundus? Because we have the large amount of crit. Like I said, we get up to 100% crit on this build, which is really nice. And having the Shadow really gives us the extra damage. As you can see, 13% extra damage. That's a lot. That is a damage boost that you can't easily get from stacking max Magicka or stacking spell damage. 13% is a lot. Let me tell you that. We are a vampire, which is important, and you should be a vampire because we need one of the skills. So, yeah. And the regens are always nice, and of course, the tankiness when you get low health all synergizes well with this build. So, yeah. Important. We're using the Witch Mother's Potent Brew. just all around such a good food. You get the health, you get the Magicka, you get the recovery. It's all we really need. If you really want to, you can go for different food, but I think this is pretty much the best. So yeah. Okay, let's talk about the sets. We are running Amber Plasm, just like the last build I uploaded. We're running Amber Plasm on this one too, because I thought now that I have it, I should, offer a couple builds with the Amber Plasm so you can see what you can do with it. Of course, Amber Plasm just giving a nice amount of raw regens, but also offensively not bad. The max Magicka, the spell damage, the spell critical, really important on this build, the spell critical. That's why we chose it. There's one line of spell crit in there. That's enough. I'll take it. And the rest is just, it's gravy, The next set we're running is Mother Sorrow. This, of course, is the big time spell critical set for Magicka. Gives you a ton of spell critical, gives you a little bit of max Magicka, so really nice. So since this is a crit build, we really want to push the crit that we have. And that's why we're also using Slimecraw as our monster set, because Slimecraw also gives a little bit of crit. And of course, 8% extra damage, which is really nice. Especially, if you have a lot of crit and you get the 8% on top of your crits, and we already have the Shadow Mundus to give us a nice amount of boosted crit damage. It just all really works well together. Of course, we're running Infused on the big pieces with Tristat enchants, and Impan on the smaller ones with Magicka enchants. You can run Divines if you want and really boost up your Shadow, your crit damage. But I think a little bit of Impan goes a long way. You don't want to be too flimsy on this build. And this build has a nice amount of tankiness to it due to the Ice Staff on the back bar that we're using. That's a big deal. Makes you really tanky. You got the strong heals. You get the Mender that gives you the 10% damage reduction. And just strong heals. Really, really nice build. Really durable. You wouldn't think it's that durable if you look at the resists, but resists are only one part of what makes a build durable. There's a lot of other things, like a strong block and a cheap block, like heal over time, burst heal, like I said, damage reduction. It's all in here. It's really nice. So yeah, like I said, the Ice Staff on the back bar infused, of course, because we need the extra enchant damage. We always do this. It's the best way to do it, in my opinion. So yeah. On the front bar, we're using a Lightning Staff, which is precise because it is a crit build. We want to go for a certain amount of crit. And in a second, I will finally reveal how this all works together and why we have the crit that we have and why this is 100% or a 99% crit build. So yeah. I think the Lightning Staff on the front bar is quite nice because this is like another damage over time that you have. So you can just channel this on people. This also helps you with sustain. You can just channel a heavy attack and people can't dodge it. Once it's locked on, it stays on. So it's easier to get the Magicka back from a heavy attack. Because if you do it with the Ice Staff, people can see it coming. It's pretty slow. They can dodge it. And then you don't get the resources back. So do it on the front bar. And of course, the shock. We have a shock enchant on, and since it's Lightning Staff, the shock damage allows us to proc the minor vulnerability, which is another 8% extra damage. So as you can see, in the stat sheet, it didn't look too powerful damage wise. But if you put all the damage modifiers here on top, like I said, we get the 8% here. We get some 8% here. We get the 30% crit damage on top of that. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of extra damage that you do not see on the tooltips and in the stat sheet. It's hidden, okay? It's our secret. Don't tell anyone. That's how we get the damage. But yeah, that's basically the sets. Of course, the jewelry is arcane with spell damage enchants. like I said, yeah, and the rest is clear. On the front bar, we have 69 69% spell critical. So this is a big deal. Why do we have that? Why do we need that? Let me explain this. The warden has which one is this one? Death Knell. This is a passive in the Gravelord skill tree, and it increases your crit damage by 10% for enemies under 25% health. Per the Gravelord skill that you have on your bar, we have 3 on our bar. This is the Stalking Blast Bones, the Ricochet Skull, and the Glacial Colossus. And I would love to use Crushing Shock instead of the Ricochet Skull. I think it has a little more use and it's a little snappier, but we needed the skills. So Ricochet Skull is nice. Don't get me wrong, it's nice. Crushing Shock would have been nicer, but we need the 3 skills on the front bar because we get the 30% extra crit damage, crit chance on the front bar, which brings us up to 99%, which is basically 100%. You will see, once you hit someone under 25%, you're basically always gonna crit. And since we have the damage over time skills, we got some damage over time skills here, they're gonna start hitting hard and they're gonna crit every time. And if you channel your heavy attacks, it's gonna crit every time. And the Blast Bones, it's gonna crit. And the Big Daddy is gonna crit. So you're doing a lot of damage to low health people. That's why I think this build is so nice. And it's easy to get people to low health because you have a lot of burst damage, you know? Like I said, Blast Bones, if it hits and you stun and you go into your Ricochet, you know, that's a lot of damage, and it brings people down pretty quick, and you get them into the 25% health threshold, and then you just start critting all the time. So that's a really powerful build, in my opinion. Especially if you like really drop the hammer on a Zerg and they're taking damage from maybe Siege and other players, and you just drop the Big Daddy in, and the Blast Bones runs in and just explodes, and you channel like a shock heavy attack. It's all gonna crit. It's all gonna do a lot of damage. So this is how the build comes together, with the 69% crit chance and the, of course, increased crit damage. That does a lot for you. So there's a lot of hidden damage in this build that you don't really see in the stat sheet right here. So yeah, that's basically it. Now you know everything about the stats and how this build works. Let's move on to the skills. The first skill is, of course, Stalking Blast Bones. This is our big burst damage skill that we have. Unfortunately, kind of unreliable still. I wish ZeniMax would finally fix that. It happens a lot. You know, you cast your Blast Bones, it just stands there. It does nothing. Too bad. Too bad. Well, but if it works, it's a decent amount of damage. And yeah, you can combo this very well with your other skills. And that makes it worthwhile, in my opinion. The second skill is Invigorating Drain. This is our main stun, but it also gives us a lot of ultimate gen, which is quite nice on the Necro, I might say, because, you know, the ultimates are pretty expensive. So having a decent amount of ult gen going on really makes sure you can cast your ultimates sooner, more often. And yeah, since the Necro is not such a well-performing class, you kind of have to rely more on your ultimates to really make it successful. So having a large amount of ultimate gen really helps here. And it's a great skill. It's cheap, it does some damage, it stuns. You can go for the other morph if you really want to, if you really want the speed that the other morph gives. That's an option, but I think you're better off going for the Invigorating morph. It just synergizes well with the build. Next skill that we have is Ricochet Skull. This is our main spammable. relatively cheap. Doesn't hit like too terribly hard, but it's not a bad skill. It's not a bad skill. Definitely not. And it can hit harder, as you can see. 20% extra damage on the third cast. So this can potentially hit pretty hard. I've seen this hit for like 7k in PvP, which is a decent amount. 7k is a lot of damage. And yeah, since this is like a combo build anyway, you want a combo. You can't just kill people by spamming Ricochet Skull. You want a combo with other skills. And then this is a really good one. And it spreads out to other people on every third cast. So you get a little extra splash damage. Can't hurt. The next skill is Consuming Trap. This is our, I would say, main damage over time ability. We also have another one on the back bar, the degen. It's mainly for the spell damage, but in combination, you have a good amount of dot pressure, which I think this build needs. You put the dots down, then you go in for the blast bones, and when the blast bones hits, you also hit the Ricochet Skull. And before the blast bone goes off, you should always stun them with the Invigorating Drain. You can cancel this. So you cast it and you cancel. You just tap block, or bash, or dodge roll, or whatever it is. What your favorite kind of animation canceling is, you do that. And you can cancel this very quick. If you do it quick enough, it takes a second for the animation to show up on your opponent, so they might not even realize that they're stunned. You know, so that buys you some extra seconds. And yeah, so you go for this shortly before it explodes. You hit the target with the Invigorating Drain, and then you do light attack ricochet for some spam damage. But this is not only a damage over time ability, but it also gives us resources back if we kill somebody that is affected with the Consuming Trap. And as you can see, it gives a decent amount of resources back. You know, as you see, this is a lot. 7k Magicka and 2.8k, almost 2.9k stamina, and this scales with your max resources. So the more resources you have, the higher this tooltip will be. And you know, 6k heal, 7k Magicka back on kill. That's insane. That's a lot. And of course, you can use this on an NPC. If you see like an NPC is dying, or a player is just about to die, put it on, get the resources back. You know? So if you really keep that in mind, you can really use this for sustain. This is a great sustain skill. So yeah. The next skill, Inner Light. This is mainly for the Max Magicka and the spell crit buff that we get. But of course, you can always pull people out of stealth with it if you want. It's a pricey skill, so don't spam it. But you know, if someone cloaks away or just goes in stealth around you, pop that thing, pop them right out, and you're good to go. That's pretty much all Inner Light does for us. It's mainly a passive skill that just stays on the bar. I like that a lot because, you know, on this build especially, we need the extra crit. But realistically, on any build, you need the extra crit. If you don't have other sources of getting this kind of crit, you always want the Inner Light on the bar. And of course, the extra Max Magicka really doesn't hurt. For ultimate, on the back bar, on the front bar, we have the Glacial Colossus, which is, of course, you know it, the Big Daddy smash. It does a lot of damage. It hits 3 times. It stuns on the last time, the last hit, and it inflicts them with major vulnerability, which is a buff that's really rare and, you know, hard to come by these days. And this really gives you an opportunity to burst someone down big time, even a group. Like I said, the combo is you dot people up with your Consuming Trap and your Degeneration. You cast the Blast Bones. shortly before the blast bones, you know, explodes, you put the Glacial Colossus down and you stun the target. And that alone is a lot of damage. And then you can go into your light attack, Ricochet Skull, spam just to whittle them down, should they still be alive. But it's a lot of damage. It really is. So that's the way you use this build. It's a nasty combo. It's a lot of damage. This thing hits hard. This thing hits hard. This stuns and this hits hard. And in the meantime, your dots are ticking. I can say this is one of the nastiest combos you can go for, really. So yeah, that's it for the front bar. And on the back bar, we talked about this. Degeneration. This is our main spell damage buff, but it's also a pretty nice dot. And yeah, that's basically all it does. It doesn't really have anything else now. ZeniMax took the Magicka return away this patch. Sad, but it's still a good skill. It's really cheap, and you know, you only need it every like 24 seconds, so there's that. Or if you like want to dot up someone, it helps. 12 seconds on the dot, also not something you need to spam. So pretty cost effective, I would say. The next skill is Hexproof. This is of course our purge, our main source of removing negative effects, which is, well, it's a big deal, you know, having multiple people on you, having dots on you, especially like sword curses. They're like the best thing to remove because they hurt. The sword curse can really hurt, and if you're taking heat from multiple players and you have like a curse from a sword on you, get rid of that because you really don't need that burst damage. You know, just get rid of it right away. So yeah. Also just good for like siege fights. If you get hit by siege, just purge it right off. No panic. So this gives you, this is such a powerful tool, I think, together with the strong healing that the Necro has. Hexproof is pretty awesome, I gotta say. It costs health, so you can even spam this when you're low resources. Of course, you gotta pay a little attention. If you're really low health and you spam this, you can kill yourself, and you don't want that. So yeah, be careful, but it's a nice skill. The next skill is Resistant Flash. This is our main source of healing on this build. Really nice high burst heal skill. Heals a ton, really. You get like full health heals all the time. There's a catch to it. It applies minor defile to yourself, which means you have a healing debuff on yourself, which is not a big deal because even if you have a healing debuff on yourself, this thing still heals for a lot. But of course, you have Hexproof. You can cleanse yourself from your own healing debuff. So, you know, if you really want to get rid of it, you can always cleanse it. It's not that important, in my opinion, because like I said, you know, fully buffed, this thing goes up to, I don't know, probably like 13k or so on the tooltip, and yeah, 15% less healing is really not that big of a deal. You're still gonna heal for over 10k a tick, you know. So it's such a strong skill. The healing debuff really doesn't matter that much, I gotta say. You will hardly notice it. And then, of course, if you heal yourself, you get spell and physical resistance equal to half the amount that was healed. So if you get like a really, really nice full health heal from like, I don't know, 10% to almost full, you get a lot of spell and physical resistance for 3 seconds, which is, you know, it helps. It makes you tanky. So this can potentially get you up to, I don't know, like heavy armor territory for a short amount of time. And if you keep taking damage and you keep healing it away, you basically keep your increased armor up, which is, it's a really nice and unique way of, you know, playing a light armor build, having this unique armor buff. I personally really like that. So yeah, awesome skill. The next one is Beckoning Armor. This is, of course, our armor buff. It doesn't really do much more than that. It pulls people in. You can go for the other morph. Makes your casts a little cheaper. But this is quite nice because it pulls people in. It confuses people. It gives them like a mini CC. I don't think people get like CC immunity from it, so you can stun them afterwards after they've been pulled in. And yeah, it confuses people. People don't really expect to be pulled. So it's a trolly skill. I like it. That's pretty much all it does. And the next skill is Spirit Guardian. This is a secondary source of healing. It doesn't heal for very much. It heals you for like 2k in Cyrodiil. So it's not like crazy high healing. But I mean, a little extra healing doesn't hurt. It stays up for 16 seconds. That's why I like this morph better than the other one. The other one only stays up for 8 seconds. In my opinion, that's a little too short. You have to recast it too often. 16 seconds gives you a little time, you know, to do other things and then worry about recasting this. And of course, while it's active, you get a 10% damage reduction on you, which really makes this build quite bulky. And yeah, that's basically what this thing does. And of course, while you have this this skill up, you get your regen passive, which gives you like what is it? Is it 200? I think it's 200. 200 magicka and stamina regen, which really, you know, that's like one of the passives that I really like about the Necromancer. Getting the raw regen on both ends, really nice. I like that a lot. And the ultimate on the back bar is Shooting Star. You can go for anything you want. This is not important. I picked this because, you know, sometimes I just want a little bit more range and something that's a little easier to land, because the Big Daddy, you know, it can miss. It can miss. You know, if you don't pay attention, you put it in the wrong place, you don't hit anyone. So Shooting Star, quite nice, but feel free to put whatever you like here. You know, whatever suits your playstyle, put it here. This is your flex spot. I like the Shooting Star. That's it. So yeah, and that's the skills, everyone. Let's move on to the CP. In the CP, we have 51 Ironclad, 77 Resistant, 43 in Hardy and Elemental Defender, 56 in Quick Recovery, 37 in Warlord, 19 in Sprinter, 22 in Mooncalf, 56 in Arcanist, and 43 in Tenacity. We got 56 in Tumbling, because we're rolling a lot on the build, because we have a little extra stamina regen to do that, and a little less Shadow Ward because of the Ice Staff. We already have a pretty nice, strong, and cheap block. That's why we only go for 37 and the Shadow Ward here, just to even out the our odds a little bit. And for the offensive trees, 51 Elfborn, 61 in Spell Erosion, 56 in Elemental Defender, 51 in Master at Arms, and 51 in Thaumaturge, because we're running a couple damage over time build skills. So the extra 19% here goes a long way. 19% for the burst damage, which is the rest of our build is all burst damage. So really nice spread, gives you a really nice amount of burst and dot damage. So yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the build, and I hope you give it a try. And yeah, let me know how it goes. I'll be back with another build very soon, so look forward to that. Make sure you like the video. Would you do me the favor? Clickety clack, just click the like button. Also, please subscribe if you like the content, if you like the builds, and if you want to see more. Let me know by showing me the support. Alright, I'll leave you with a little bit of PvP footage now. And yeah, enjoy. Have a nice day. See you next time. Oh, hello. Can we not do this? Oh my god, no, I'm getting snipped. Don't snip me. Dude, that one guy's always disappearing in stealth and snipping me. Stop it, motherfucker. How dare you? Oh, you're dying, mister. Woo! Is that all of them? Are we done here? Are we done here? Is that the fight? Is there no one else? Oh, this is gonna be deadly for this guy. Someone come in here? No. Let me get some ultimate so I can take care of those guys. Oh, he's gonna die, dude. Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah! Oh! Oh, baby! There it is! There it is! That's what I'm talking about. Apparently. Oh yeah. Someone kill this motherfucker, please. Come on. Can you die? Would you do me the favor? Thank you. Can you do me the favor, please? Oh, Big Daddy's coming out, hitting everyone. I killed someone! I didn't even pay attention. I killed someone with a Big Daddy. Woo! Big Daddy, I love you. Boom. Stop it! Stop it! Can you please die? Would that be an option? Could you maybe do me the favor? No? Alright. Alright. I see how it is. Oh, you're gonna die. Told you. Told you. Oh, Big Daddy coming up! Boom! Boom! Get him, Big Daddy! Get him! Kick him in the nuts! Show him how it's done, Big Daddy. I'm just gonna dot up everybody. Everybody gets a dodge. You get a dodge. You get a dodge. You get a dodge. Do you have a dodge? No? Do you want one? You get one. Oof. Gotta be careful here. Ooh. Help me. Oh, I see how it is. There's some action on the porch. Let me just help the people a little bit. Oh, let's just channel. Oh yeah, that's it. Getting the kills here. Oh, another Big Daddy coming out. I have another Big Daddy coming up in a second. It's gonna be a good one. You better believe it. You better believe it. Boom. Big Daddy coming up! Boom! 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 Oh, gotta be careful. Enemy Big Daddy. Oh, can I please? Unbelievable.